So welcome to the interview portion of Small Business Smart Solutions. I'm going to try something completely different. We've got live actual people that I'm sitting next to, which is a little bit different to speaking to people on Skype. But I thought just for having something a little bit different and talking to some people who are really at the coalface, working out how to implement a lot of the sort of things that we talk about on Small Business Smart Solutions would be really good to hear from a different perspective. So instead of getting an expert in, because you blokes aren't experts on anything, are you, or are you?
Absolutely not an expert.
No experts here.
Okay. But I would like to introduce you to Andrew and Paul from Gold Star Automotive, and they are one of the uncoverhiddenprofits.com coaching clients, and they've been on a coaching program for around about 7 months, thereabouts. And I just really wanted to have a chat with them to talk about what they've learned through the process, but also to help you, the viewer, understand some of the challenges that you may come across when you're trying to implement some of the suggestions that you'll learn through Small Business Smart Solutions. So welcome to Small Business Smart Solutions.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mick.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Now, one of the things that I really want to unpack are some of, I suppose, the blinding obvious, now that you know, issues that you probably didn't think about or didn't think that they were important to address when you were running the business before you started the coaching program. One of our ex-members from up in Darwin often used to say to me, I can't believe that I've been running a business for 20 years. And you know, after running a business for 20 years, you'd think you'd know a little bit about it, wouldn't you? He would say to me, but some of these things are very obvious when they're put in front of you, but not so obvious when you're at the coalface. So, Andrew, for you, what's been one of the things that you've gone, gee, I wish I had known about that a few years earlier?
Staff's attitude.
Yep.
Yep. Just how happy that they, when they're at work, they're happy. Just the productivity just goes up by so much. As where before, you'd think that they just turn up to work and they do their job, which they did. But when they're in a better state of mind and they're happy to be there, it's just that much better. Yeah.
Do you find that, because I had this discussion a lot, that people seem to think that the way to the employee's heart is through their wallet, like you motivate people with more money. Have you found that to be the case or not?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. When you sit down and you talk to them, we have one-on-one meetings, and you say to them, you know, what issues that we're having, money never ever comes up. It's always, I'd like to do things this way, or how about we just change things a little bit and try it this way. It's never ever has anyone ever brought up the fact that, you know, another 50 cents an hour would make my life a lot easier. So, which is really good, because before we started it, you'd think, to make someone happy, you've got to pay them more money. Yeah. But when you get into it, it's not the case. It's not the case whatsoever. Yeah. So it's just listening to what they've got to say and taking it on board. Yeah.
So, Paul, from your perspective, what has been something that you've felt, gee, I wish I had known that sometime before now?
Yeah, I guess from my point of view, and being in business 20 years, as you discussed with the people from Darwin, we thought that we had to run the whole show. We were the whole centre of gravity. Everything had to go through us, and giving them more responsibility and trusting what they do, giving them some space and opportunity to come back with ideas.
How difficult, if at all, have you found that trusting thing? Because it's something that I talk about with people all of the time, and it seems to be a real bugbear. It seems to be a real challenge. Getting past that, everything's got to go through me. Like, I trust you, mate. I trust you, but I just need to check. Yeah. How hard has that been, and what have you done to get past it?
It's been a challenge, for sure, because, you believe you're the best man for the job in every aspect of the business. And there's been no option but to just pull back, watch it happen. And initially, yeah, it is difficult for sure. But when you start to see results, well, you can relax a bit and let the string go out further.
So was there anything that you did or that you could pass on to the people listening to us and watching us today to allow you to relax and let go? Because it obviously is very, very difficult. It's a real challenge for the business owner. It's your baby, your butt's in the sling. What do you need to do or change in your thinking or your behaviour to allow that to happen?
It's probably not an easy question to answer. Maybe one day it'll be easier perhaps. But just everything we do with our day, the way we've changed the way we go about things, putting processes in place, procedures, and just giving that trust and just let it happen.
Something else that I often find or notice when we get to a certain point through the coaching process, you start to learn about some of the errors that you've made and some of these things we're just talking about now. And when you go into other businesses, it starts to be a lot easier to identify the deficiencies in other businesses. What are some of the real common mistakes that you notice when you go in and as a customer with other small businesses?
Probably what I notice is that people don't seem to take the time, the extra, sometimes only 5 seconds that you need to spend just to smile and ask the question and listen to the answer that they give you. It's more of a rush through, and they sort of tend to finish the question or finish the answer off for you instead of just listening and saying, yep, thank you very much. That's probably one of the biggest things that I sort of noticed. Yeah, just take a deep breath, just sit back and listen to what the customer is actually saying to you.
Yep. What have you noticed, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a bit of a horror show you see sometimes, and you wish you could actually coach people yourself because, I mean, at the end of the day, they're missing opportunities. And it's not a difficult thing, not a lot of things you've got to change, just very minor things, and it's just a whole different outlook on things, and simple.
So having I guess an understanding or an awareness that the customer in front of you is probably the most valuable customer you've got at any point in time because they're in front of you, but you will find a lot of businesses that just really think that volume is the key. Get them through, and get to the next one and get to the next one. What have you found out through the coaching program about how you should be treating your customer, communicating your customer, looking at your customer? What are the things that you've changed with your business and what difference has it made?
Yeah, well, you've just spoken about some of the keys there about giving the focus to the customer at hand. And for an example, the telephone might ring while you're halfway through a conversation and you've just got to put it aside and let it go and really, really focus and concentrate with that person, have that one-on-one and get a really good outcome. Yeah.
So what, if anything, have you noticed in how your customers respond to the change in the service that you have implemented in your business? What have you noticed?
So, yeah, it's been interesting to watch actually because a lot of clients I've had for that 20 years and you sort of look at them in response when you're putting a lot more effort and spending the time with them, and it's been different, to the last 19 years, if you like. And I guess they're then seeking, well, okay, what's going on here? And it's always a good result because it's more than they've had before, and it can end up, adding to the value for them. Yeah.
Talking about communication and feedback, how important have you found it, or what have been the benefits of having a bit more of a formal process to get feedback from both the team and the customer? Because I noticed we're in the reception just yesterday, and I noticed you've got a little form there to ask some questions about how would you like to be served almost, what are your priorities and preferences? How important is it to your business and what difference has it made getting that specific feedback?
Yeah, I think we've always thought that we've had to come up with the answers ourselves, And we've learned now through the coaching that we need to listen to what the clients would like and what they need, what they want, and how to give them that, rather than us putting it out there and thinking it's the right answer. And a lot of the times it might necessarily be the case. Yeah. So just listen.
Yeah. Another thing that we often talk about, and I know I've talked about it on the show before, all customers aren't equal. We've talked about that before. And I, you know, it sounds a little bit politically incorrect to put your customers in different classes, but to create a profitable business, I believe it's important to find out who is the best type of customer for your business and build your business around that customer. What sort of things have you done and what benefits have you noticed by looking at your customers a little bit differently, rather than going all customers or any customer that's got money has got to be a good customer for our business? How's your thinking changed in that space?
Oh, it's changed quite a bit. Yeah, before you just looked at a customer, that was it. They were the customer, they bought their car in, we worked on it, and we sent them away. Hopefully they paid for the bill on the day.
Hopefully
they paid, yeah. Now it's just spending a little bit more time with the customer. You can pick up any ideas that they've got that they can give back to you in the way of how you conduct business, and the questions that you ask. Yeah, like we're going through a bit of a stage at the moment where we're doing interviews with customers, which is really good because you get them one-on-one and you tell them what we're up to, what we're doing, we're trying to achieve, and it's amazing what they actually give back to you, as in what keeps them coming back to your business, what would they like to see added to the business, and all that's really valuable information. So yeah, it's just compiling all that and putting it into place.
Okay, so just a final comment from both of you, bit of advice from your experience through this process. What would be, in each of your individuals' opinions, be one of the most important things that you've learned that you would like to pass on to other business owners watching the show, Paul?
Yeah, I guess it's your own behaviour. For many years I tread along the path doing the same thing, and now just look back and sort of look at that from the outside in, from the employee's point of view, from your staff and also from the clients. And sometimes that might have been not as good as you have liked. Now I really focus on, presenting really well, work on good outcomes for everybody, be it the staff or the client. A lot more focus on that.
And you, Andrew?
Yeah, my biggest thing as the staff is listen to them, ask them questions. They're not dummies. They are a wealth of knowledge. Who was the dummy who hired them is the question you've got to ask sometimes. That's exactly right. When you hear a lot of people complain about their business, oh, my staff are this and my staff are that and whatever. We used to be like that. Mm-hmm. Now we sit back and we say, yeah, we're the dummies. We're the ones that are not treating them right. We're not asking them the question. We're not letting them do their job. We're trying to do all of it ourselves, and they're just the little ones we're moving around the board. But no, that's my main thing, is the staff, really.
So just a final comment, your overall impression of the difference between, the business 6 or 7 months ago and how it is now. And, I know you're going to say, done a lot of good things, but got a long way to go. So I'll say it for you. But what are I suppose, the major benefits that each of you have noticed in the last little while? Because you've done, I think, a tremendous job of implementing things. There's been very little resistance. I can see from the outside there's been massive changes, but I'd be interested in your feeling and your opinion as to what are the major benefits of having done what you've done.
Oh, just the feeling in yourself, really, is that you feel you get up in the morning and you want to go to work, you want to achieve that, you want to put that goal in place, and you want to...
Even though you're on 2 weeks holiday at the moment, you came in specially for this.
Holiday.
I love going to work.
Well, no, it's really in yourself. Just You get out of bed, you really want to go to work, and you can see that in your staff too, that they want to get up and want to come to work. Yeah, that's what I've got out of it.
Paul?
Yeah, I really don't think all the years in business you realised how much stress you carried around. And it wasn't until we started the program and started to get involved and get everything happening, all of a sudden it was just like a huge weight lifted off your shoulders. And we can now sort of see where we're going, and we can make decisions and choose where we go. As before it was just let's try, put it out there and see, and no certainty. I think it's a lot more comfortable. You can relax in yourself that we've got an idea of where we know we're going.
Okay, well, thanks very much for being open and honest and being great students. I think you've done an absolute admirable job implementing the stuff that we talk about, even though you will... You'll go, yeah, that's really good. Yeah. He's a little bit hard on himself, folks, but, we're working on him. But thanks for being on the show, being good sports, and, maybe we'll come back, talk to you again in another few months from the back of the Gold Star stretch limousine or the jet, perhaps.
The jet.
Yeah, see how we go then.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Been awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.